card zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans. Another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
All right, welcome to, welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern and talk about guns for an hour. And I think I got everything turned off here. So, see what all happens tonight. We got some invites out there to see who joins us. And see who's joining us live here. I'm watching on the StreamYard thing, but it's got a delay, so it's like Lockjaw's joining us at WB, Tennessee, Bishop, and Guy, and DTP. So, anyway, we got back from SHOT. I got a bit of the crud, I guess, but not as bad as debilitating or whatever, but definitely sore. So, anyway, getting back to it. Played around with some of the editing and stuff from some of the videos, but just dabbling. Should be able to get back in and do a little bit more of that, but wanted to just go live here and see what all everybody's doing, throw out some invites, and get back onto the the routine of doing the show again. So I haven't been really paying attention what's been going on out there. Watched John Crump did a chat earlier with Jeremy Seitz, I guess, is a photographer. I was watching that. And then posted the show here a little bit ago. We got a couple of people saying hello, but otherwise nobody's really saying anything. So I figured we could chat a bit about what we did videos of. I didn't list them all yet. I guess that's something I should do with I don't know how to do that. I think I'll do that with a piece of paper. There wasn't a show last night. I was sleeping last night. I almost did a show, but I figured nobody'd care if I just slept instead of trying to kick one out. In the ER with the pup, how's the pup doing? That's never fun, especially at night. Only good news is a lot of time at night or in off times like that, you get their 100% attention, where if you go in during the day, you know, there might be other people doing stuff, other things going on. And if you've got a fairly routine thing, you might get stuck to the side. Speaking of pups, though, did get a post on Instagram where somebody said that Mello could be a Swiss Shepherd. So I've been looking that up. If you look up Swiss Shepherd, she kind of looks like that. Lacerated an artery under the tongue from chewing on something? That sucks. I've never heard of that one before. That has got to be a tough one. Anytime you get something that's tough to bandage, right? I didn't get so much sick as kind of, I guess. I got a little crunchy in the chest, and I've been spitting up a little bit of crud, but I mean, just enough that I didn't feel like getting up. I slept a little bit. I don't have heat here, so that's probably part of it too. I just didn't feel like getting up and battling, putting on a coat and everything, so I just sat underneath a ton of blankets for the first couple of days. One of the things I like to do ever since gun rights policy, I think I started it when I stole the notebook off of Clover, is start doing basically a journal. Some notes. I don't think of it as like a diary. I don't put everything in there, but I put notes. And when I went on the trip to DC, it worked out pretty well to keep track of things like the restaurants I stopped at or the mileage, major purchases, things like that. Then when I go back later to try to do videos, I've got some of that stuff sort of archived. At least I know what day something was, and I'm finding that might be pretty useful. I didn't do it this trip. Kind of got off kilter this trip, but I've been going back. Like I say, I've been kind of, I don't know, I guess I've been under the weather, but whatever. I just been doing that. I've been going back and trying to recall everything to the best of my knowledge. I ended up this time buying a giant sketchbook because I was not satisfied. I think I was even telling you how that paper, I think it was either telling you or Angie, that the paper in the notebook I brought with me to DC was so cheap and so brittle that it was falling apart. And I ended up losing pages and having to rewrite stuff because the page would fall out. So I still insist on buying it at a cheap place, but I ended up buying a more expensive, cheap sketchbook. And it's got way thicker paper, the kind of paper you can write on one side and you don't see it on the other side. And anyway, so I've been basically trying to keep track of where I slept. I had this trip worked out pretty decent because of weather, but I had to keep moving around. Vegas doesn't like people hanging out in vans in parking lots, so I was trying to keep track of where all I went. There was a couple of times where I was just half asleep, and I've been to Vegas so many times, I just literally by reflex went from one parking lot to another, just almost half asleep. Yeah, being back in the bed is good. One of the nice things about being in the gym is that even no matter how bad you sleep, you get on that what we call robot bed, and it blows hot water at you, and that can make up for a lot of uncomfortable sleeping. Just having 10 minutes on that robot bed. Notepads to the media room. Yeah, those notepads to the media room are good and bad. There's a couple of things. So if you're talking about the spiral ones that are long, they work, but that's too weird of a shape. They're good for putting in your pocket or whatever for carrying around, and they're better than nothing for sure. But they also had one back a while ago that was in the media room. I'm trying to remember how long ago. It's been a while, and maybe they do it more than once. I don't pay attention to everything they do every year, but for a while they had sort of I don't know what to call it, like a how-to or a guide. Had a lot of info in there, a lot of data, all the different caliber stuff. It was almost like a cheat sheet for writers who might not be 100% up to speed on everything. And I thought that was pretty cool. I forget what they call it, like a writer's fact sheet or something, or fact guide. So I have a couple of those. But anyway, that was a notebook that they had, and I think it was designed you could write in it also. It's just that it had a bunch of sheets at the beginning that were like a glossary and stuff. Anyway, so I've been moving some of the stuff over. That's one of the other things is getting home. You have to get the stuff all situated. So I have stuff from the dash cams. I have stuff from the phone, and I guess the other phone. And then, oh shit, I forgot about audio. I also did quite a bit of audio this time around. So I'm going to have to pull all the audio off now that I thought about it. And then I do a backup right away. So I pull it all off and I put it in one folder. And then once I'm satisfied I've got everything from the trip in that folder, I'll make a copy of that folder on a different hard drive. So now I've got it on 2 hard drives. And then that way, basically it's just so that there's a backup. But I can also have one of them on or off and still be able to edit or whatever. How do we mute this? All right, well, I'm finding out that talking for 10 minutes is not fun because I'm starting to cough. And I don't have anything to drink here, do I? All I got is a big chunk of ice right next to me. Wasn't really thinking. So I usually start this thing up hoping that some of the links I send out will turn into people joining, but not tonight. So we don't have to make it a marathon tonight. I plan on changing the format up a little bit like I keep talking about, but since they are shutting down gun channels, I'll have more time to devote to these projects. So there'll be a bigger format to this show here. And I guess unless anybody has anything else, we'll wrap this one up and dig in tomorrow. Which people got to meet each other at SHOT Show, and yeah, so that was it. Like I said, just barely started putting it all together. We'll have, as I get through it more, I'll mention some of the stuff that we've got videos coming from. I don't think any of my videos are longer than about 3 or 4 minutes. I wasn't sure if the audio was going to work good or not on the phone, and really didn't have a bunch of stuff to chat with people about. I just wanted to get brief introductions to their products or to their organizations, and I figured we'd have them on to do hour-long interviews. And that's, I think, what I'm going to end up doing going forward with some of the stuff from SHOT Show, is instead of trying to do a perfect video at the show, get those introductions in and then have them on and do hour-long interviews and just chat with them about their companies and their products or their organizations and what they do. So that guy's wife is out there. Armintia's out there, and I don't know if she's got anything to plug out there. Bishop is out there. Hopefully they had a good show. And I don't know if anybody else out there went to the shop, but if anybody else got anything else to chat about, throw it out there. Otherwise, with that, I guess we'll end it up. Thanks for jumping in or showing up tonight. Let me double check over on StreamYard, make sure nobody else jumped in tonight. So I've been watching over on YouTube, so I don't have to wait for the delay, but there's always that chance that somebody was sitting over there waiting on StreamYard for them to jump in. We'll be kind of bumping back and forth between StreamYard and GunTube going forward, and we'll see if it's maybe GunTube or GunStreamer. I don't know if GunStreamer is going to deal with me anymore. Or see if they pick up the slack where Gun Channels is letting off with the community aspect of it. So with that, I guess thanks again for showing up, and we'll see you tomorrow.